Hey guys, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you should definitely subscribe and stick around for future videos. So I haven't filmed a video in a couple of weeks, so I decided I wanted to do a Q&A. So I got you guys to ask me questions on my social medias. If you want to be a part of the next Q&A, you can follow my social medias in the links in the description because I post all my updates there. Alright, so I have a variety of questions on my phone, ranging from topics from my disability to just about my life to random stuff. So we're gonna cover a lot of different topics. First question. How has COVID-19 impacted your access to medical care? So if you guys are new to this channel, I have a disability called Friedreich's ataxia, which is a rare neuromuscular condition that has made me wheelchair bound. Luckily with my condition, I don't have to go to the doctor all the time and do anything like that. But the pandemic did keep me from out of physical therapy, which was really hard for me. I'm starting to go back now. I think this will be my 3rd week maybe. But I was out for 2 months, which is a really long time for me, and I started to lose a lot of the strength that I had, and also just have some pains that physical therapy helps me work through. So I wasn't able to go to that, and obviously occupational therapy, I think I was out of that for a month, and then I started doing it over FaceTime stuff, which was great. But now I'm doing that. I'm going back in person for that too. I've been doing counseling over a Zoom type thing. I don't really know what it is, but I've been doing that, so I've been keeping up with that. I live in Louisiana, so stuff is starting to open back up, and I'm getting kind of the opportunities to go back to normal life kind of. But I know it's different for a lot of different states, and some places it's not safe to go out and do that kind of thing right now. So I am very lucky that I can go back now and that I'm getting back in that routine. What is your favorite social media app? TikTok, hands down, or Twitter. Actually, okay, I don't really know if TikTok counts as a social media. I think it does. So if we're saying it counts, then TikTok, hands down, no questions asked. If it doesn't count, then Twitter. What are some adaptations in your bathroom? So I would say within the last year, we've started really adding things into my bathroom that make things easier, like showering and going to the bathroom and all that. So for my shower, when we built this house a couple of years ago, we built a roll-in shower just because we knew that somewhere down the line my disability would progress to the point where I needed that. I'm so glad we did, because that shower makes everything so much easier, because there's not a tub to step over or lip to step over. It's just straight in. And then I have bars lining the wall in my shower, as well as a shower chair that kind of moves down to my shower. Then for my toilet area, we just installed a super pole type thing. You probably know what that is if you have a disability, but I'll include a picture of it. My toilet paper holder is also bolted into the wall and really stable. So I used to just grab onto that and use that, but now I use the pole. What was the last movie you watched? The last movie I watched, I think, was Jumanji 2. I watched it a couple weeks ago with my dad. If you haven't seen the newer Jumanjis with The Rock and Kevin Hart, you should watch them because they're hilarious and I love them. And then before that, I watched The Help, which was also really good. When did you first figure out that something wasn't right? So my disability is progressive, so it gets worse as I get older, and so I didn't notice anything until I was probably 10 or 11, because that was around the time that I was in middle school and everybody else was growing out of the awkward stage, and I wasn't. So I would say that's when I noticed. But as far as like my parents go, they noticed for a long time, just because they were my parents and it was more obvious to them. Obviously it was a huge deal, otherwise I would have been diagnosed way earlier, but they did notice things throughout my childhood and into those years where we started to really like question it. So what's your favorite video you have ever made? I really like this question. My favorite video I've ever made, oh my gosh, there's a lot. My all-time favorite is the mom carpool karaoke. If you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. It is so funny. I literally laugh every time I watch it, and I was there, and it's still funny to me. I really like the one I just did a couple months ago with 2 of my friends learning TikTok dances. That was so fun. And then obviously the documentary thing I just released called Not Just a Girl in a Wheelchair. So if you haven't seen any of those, please go check them out because those are definitely my favorites. What adjustments have you had to make for being in a wheelchair? So I would say there's like been obviously a lot of adjustments along the way. Luckily we had moved into this house a couple years before, and like I said, we built this house to be like wheelchair accessible, so we didn't have to really make any changes there except installing like bars in the bathroom like I talked about. But obviously also had to get an accessible car. Yeah, and I've had to make adjustments with like accommodations at school and at home to make sure that I'm comfortable and able to do things. There's a lot of adaptations I've had to make along the way. How did you know when it was time to start using a walking aid? I started using a walking aid at school, which was a rollator walker freshman year, like the middle of freshman year. And then I had used it a little before that, like at airports and stuff, when I was traveling, but I didn't use it at school. And then I transitioned into a wheelchair at school my sophomore year. So I think that how I knew was I just wasn't comfortable walking without any help anymore. I was holding on to my friends' backpacks. I was tripping constantly and falling, and to me it was more embarrassing to fall than to use something to help, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I finally decided when I didn't feel comfortable anymore and I didn't feel safe. What is your favorite subject? Science or history? Last question is, how are you doing mentally? So I would say that this time is definitely a harder time, like mental health wise, because obviously being stuck in the house kind of amplifies everything and makes everything harder. It makes you kind of sit in your own thoughts, which is not always great, and I often use the coping skill of being busy to not think about how I feel, which probably is not best, but I do it. So in this time of quarantine, I've been spending a lot of time in my own head. So I would say I've made a lot of improvements, but I've also been very frustrated and very sad because like the quarantine and isolation amplifies literally everything, and it makes things that are not a big deal seem like a huge deal. And so I would say that like it's been rough, but I'm working through it as much as I can. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and hearing a little bit from me, some life updates, and also answering some specific questions you guys asked. Like I said, if you want to be a part of the next Q&A, you can follow me on my social medias because I always post for that kind of thing on there. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for new videos. And now I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
tell you why.